And this simple practice of feeling the body or reconnecting to breath or just pausing, as you were saying, finding some stillness, those are all, I mean, long time researched tactics. These are those basic things have been tenets for thousands of years. This isn't, which for me builds a bit of faith. Yes. That taps into something I say, okay, there's something there, right? And so, yeah, so it, in a way, it displaces the other ways that we could be that cause suffering, right? The way that we could be in our mind heart, where we're, kind of retelling that story over and over, or, we're projecting into the future and fantasizing a thing that may or may not occur, or, we're reliving, this old thing, the way that's basically the mind time travels, right? It goes in the future and it wants this or that. It goes in the past, it wants this or that. And when we orient to something that is only in the present, changing sensation, breathing, or, we still down and we lessen the stimulus. We get still and we lessen the activation. Those are all ways of just, our mind is always going to pay attention. The thing is, we have a lot of power as to how to orient that, how to move it around. There's so much power in that. And like, we just kind of take it for granted. We just let it run amok otherwise, I think, or at least I did before I came to these practices and understanding that there's so much of this is an attention practice, how we pay attention, what we pay attention to, and that we actually have quite a bit of control in that realm. Like, for me, it's still a bit of an astounding amount of control. Like, oh, I can really shift actually the way in which I'm experiencing this, so it's a bit of a, moving the stuff out that are habits that are basically known to cause suffering and putting in these other things, and just to get, little doses of this, and that builds over time. And I think that the piece around faith or confidence, really, I would just speak, I would say this to any level of practitioner, new, intermediary, forever. I say this to myself, like, it's really a question of really just look at what comes from it. Yeah. This is, in some ways, this is karma. There's an action and it has an effect. Like, take a look. What is it like for you? And look at your own experience. You don't have to trust anything I say or you say, or, just see how it goes for you. But don't miss that, actually, like, take a moment to kind of reflect or check it out. I can notice that if I spend 1 minute of washing the dishes, feeling my feet on the ground and taking 5 deep breaths, what happens? Like, check it out, and where one builds confidence or faith, I think in these practices that I'm steeped in yoga and Buddhist practices, you don't have to believe anything outside of your own experience. You don't have to put on some other belief system. It's very experientially based. So the encouragement, I think, is just to really look at that. And I think that that's actually a point that I feel like sometimes teachers miss, of encouraging students. And I feel like I kind of missed that for a really long time. I've had certain teachers that really emphasize this point. It was very powerful for me. Basically, it's like, don't miss it. And what I mean by it is like, probably, this won't happen every time, but probably what will happen over time, most of the time, if you do this kind of thing, feel your body, feel some breath, is what happens out of that is like, there's a little bit of settling, or there's a little bit of ease that comes forward. There's a little bit of maybe, like, sometimes it feels like physical relaxation. Sometimes it feels like, the mind sort of softens around what it was gripping on. But those things are more subtle and it's easy to miss. Don't miss it. don't miss it. Like, so you have to kind of keep your attention going after the little like formal moment, right? Of like, the 1 minute of feeling my feet while my hands are in the water and I'm feeling breath. I do that for 1 minute. Then like, you got to keep the attention going for a second or 5, or, you go a little further just with the attention. You're not in the technique anymore necessarily, but your attention can really observe, like, what are the effects? That's easy to miss. And so my encouragement is, don't miss that.